Now it's Anthony going to get a two.
Sightseeing Bournemouth tour. Your route today takes us to Pool Quay via Sandbanks. Please remain seated whilst the bus is moving and ring the bell if you wish to get off at any of the stops along the route.
Now it's Anthony going to get a two.
We look forward to showing you the best of the local area and telling you about the history and the people
First time we've been on this one.
it is today.
First time
Be
we've
sure
been
to
on
hold
this
on
one.
to your ticket, which entitles you to 10% off any other city sightseeing tour operated in
Half an hour to go Wimble.
Please only do this when the bus is stopped.
That's Anthony going to get a two. Now it's
Where is he going to be?
over there.
As we head over the overpass, we see Bournemouth Pier jutting out into the English Channel to our right. Our award-winning beach is 9.5 miles long, stretching from Sandbanks to the west to Hindusbury
There. Bye. Bye.
the gardens of the Bourne Stream from which the town gets its name. The name comes from the Scottish River.
Billy did it a bit late.
Bournemouth prides itself with its wonderful gardens, the local parks department having its own nurseries, and a team of dedicated gardeners and greenkeepers.
Got to go on at 3 o'clock.
Hectares of green space, roughly 20% of the town. Coming up on our right is the Royal Bath Hotel, the very first hotel in Bournemouth. It was opened on the day of Queen Victoria's coronation in June 1838. As we travel down Westover Road, to our left is the Art Deco Pavilion Theatre, now nearly 100 years old. It hosts a back-to-back programme of plays, musicals, concerts and comedy, and is also the home to Pavilion Dance Southwest, an inspirational charity that has, in the last 10 years, allowed more than 500,000 people from every section of society to experience the joy of dance. Look up to the right for more Art Deco buildings which used to house a number of hotels, an ice rink and 2 cinemas. One, the Gaumont, saw the Beatles play a 6-night residency in the summer of 1963, just before Beatlemania took the band around the world. The same year, the Gaumont also hosted the Rolling Stones and Cliff Richard and the Shadows.
It'll be 10 minutes of a trip because of Jamie.
Bournemouth Square is really considered the centre of the town, with the main department stores and meeting places. Now pedestrianised, for many years, it was the main intersection where 7 roads from the north, the east and west met. A number of the original buildings surrounding the square were lost due to bombing during the Second World War, but nothing like the extent of Southampton to the east and Plymouth to the west. Through the centre, you'll see the gardens stretching back inland in one direction and down to the seafront in the other, making a mile-long green corridor along the Bourne Stream, which gives Bournemouth its name. Former Prime Minister Winston Churchill holidayed in Bournemouth as a child, where he could sail a model boat in the stream.
The comedy sounds a bit crackled.
Yeah,
On the other one it sounded better.
it's loud on this one.
Yeah. An open tour.
Shortly coming up on our left is BH2, the new cinema and restaurant complex. But this was once the site of the town's bus station, which was so large it had 2 levels. Between the 1930s and the 1970s, the bus station was buzzing with holiday makers during the summer months. However, it was badly damaged by fire during 1976. Although around 80 buses on the upper level managed to be driven out, 16 coaches on the lower level were destroyed, and the building was finally
funny! Now 1710's not a close now!
Look out for a white turreted building.
That Echo Man!
What
the car ran
It's on the site of the very first house that was built in the town by the founder of Bournemouth, Mr. Trevor. For many years, this area was heathland, but by the 1790s, smugglers were using the area to take their contraband from the cliff tops and chimes. Trevor was stationed here as a captain of militia, and his job was to defend against a possible French invasion and to also help combat the smugglers. The area's most famous smuggler was Isaac Gulliver. In 1810, after Cromwell had retired from service in the North of Francia, he brought his wife to the
350 sites get video turn!
built their summer residence.
As we travel up Priory Road, we head up onto the West Cliff. This area has an extremely wide choice of hotels and guest houses. There is something for everyone, from young person's budget accommodation costing £20 a night, through to the very expensive and very plush Marriott Highcliffe, the choice of politicians attending party conferences, standing on the left just above a lift to the beach. The very big investments in more hotels, bars and restaurants reflects Bournemouth's potential as the South Coast's leading resort, and the fact that the area is very busy on weekends throughout the year. The next roundabout, notice the mature pine trees that dominate the street scene from here on.
And there's more space.
200
Sit
years
next
ago,
to you on
Bournemouth was
this.
very
Oh, no,
different.
it's...
It would have been bare and sandy heathland, like much of the New Forest to the east and Dorset to the west. But then landowners started planting more than 3 million Scots pines. This was partly to replenish the country's timber stocks after the wars with the French, and partly to cash in on the supposed health benefits of the sea air blowing through the pine needles. By the 1880s, the transformation was complete. The Dorset writer Thomas Hardy called Bournemouth Sandbourne in his novel Tess of the D'Urbervilles, and described it as a Mediterranean lounging place on the English Channel. Truer and truer with our special microclimate and global warming.
Both of them were fully opened. That another person? I bet it's bus miles. Oh, is it? Yeah, oh blood. Lee's not going to accept it, he ain't. They need to get the 50, not this. I don't need. There is an open top 50. It says on the website don't accept them. It's. What is it with people? We with passes now, and we know not to use passes. And some JBL are trying to use the bus pass. I had to say to JB LX05 too, it done accent. And it was loud. I think that's the car park where they park it. That's it for the assault force. Yeah.
Let's drive deeper into the pine woods along a purpose-built scenic drive with amazing views of the coastline. If the weather is clear, a fine view is coming up on the left of the white chalk cliffs of Old Harry at the end of the Isle of Purbeck. The road follows valleys called chimes, transformed by the erosion of the sand and gravel into lush microclimates that entice the visitor to explore. We're following Durley Channel, across